Hey there YouTube. So today's video is going to be on where is my refund 2019. So I have a tax preparer and she's been doing my taxes for the last 10 years plus. So usually things have gone smoothly. Except for last year when I had to do the ID verify, which was the 2017 tax year. So I filed, and a few weeks later I got a letter in the mail saying I need to identify myself. And from the date that I called to the day that my refund was released last tax year, it was exactly 21 days. So it was about 3 weeks. It was about 2 to 3 weeks. It was like a short time period. Like as soon as I identified, I could even check the status on the website and everything on the WMR, where's my refund website. So this year, I didn't know if I was going to have to ID again or not because I don't know what the procedure is, but come to find out that once you're picked, you'll have to do it for the next 2 years. So 3 consecutive years, you will be picked to ID verify. So this year, I filed January 28th, 2019. And at first, I was getting status bars. And then around like February the 14th, around Valentine's Day, I was like, well, that's weird. I haven't got my refund yet. So I went back on the website and my status bars disappeared. And let me show you what it was saying. Okay, so here is what it says on my where's my status refund. My status bars had disappeared and it was saying hit this tax topic 152 about refund information, and then it was saying to call the IRS with the extension number on there. So I proceeded to call the IRS and give the extension number on there. And this was about, like I said, February 14th, 15th, 14th. I can't remember what day of the week it was, but it was around that day because I remember it was Valentine's Day. And I was like, I don't have any money for Valentine's Day. What the fuck's going on? So the guy answers the phone. I tell him who I am, what's going on. He says, oh, well, we sent you a letter out of, what's this letter called? 5071C letter. So I said, oh, well, I haven't gotten any letter in the mail, and I filed on the 28th. Now, mind you, this was like the 14th or the 15th of the next following month. So he says, okay, well, I'll go ahead and send you out another letter. So I'm like, okay, send me out another letter. So from that day on, like the middle of February, I had to wait until my letter came in the mail. So finally, my letter arrives March the 7th. Okay, so here is my 5071C letter that I received from the IRS. For obvious reasons, I blocked out my name and address and my control number, but the letter basically says you have 30 days to call us and verify who you are, or you can verify online. And it also has, let me see, it also tells you the things you're going to need for the call. You're going to need this letter, obviously your control number, your prior year's tax return, this year's tax return, any documents or documentation that you added to your tax return, your W-2s, 1099s, whatever. When you have that information, then they want you to go ahead and give them a call. Yes, so I had received that letter on March the 7th, so I needed time to find my old tax return and find my kids' socials and all that stuff I knew that they were going to ask me. So I ended up calling back on March the 11th. So they asked me about my children. They asked me what was my main source of income. They asked me last year what was my main source of income. So everything went through and I passed the process on the phone, and they told me that I identified myself, everything looked good, and that portion was closed and that my return would go back into the system. Now, I also want to say that I tried before calling them to verify online through the ID verify.ca.gov or whatever, and it kept saying that I could not create an account. It kept saying that my birth date or something was wrong, and so I couldn't create it. So that was a little irritating, but I was okay. So of course, through all this process, I still wasn't tripping because I had did this last year and things were fairly quickly after I identified, so I wasn't really tripping. So March 11th, I verified. All that part I was closed. Now they're reprocessing my return. So in my mind, I'm like, so they tell me, okay, you'll receive your refund within 9 weeks. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, it really won't be 9 weeks because last year it literally was like 2 or 3 weeks. Like 21 days at the most, I had my refund in hand. Fast forward to today, which is April the 8th. No refund. No status production on the WMR site. So I called this morning and so I asked, what was my case closed out? How does everything look? And literally she just tells me, you still have to wait out the rest of the 9 weeks. There's nothing we can do. Your tax return is being processed. You don't have any letters or anything else sent out this time. It's just being processed and all you need to do is wait. So it's been 5 weeks since I ID'd my verification, from March the 11th to today, April the 8th. No refund and no update on the WMR website. So I'm just like, what's the problem? 1, where is the refund? 2, why is it taking so long? Because in actuality, a lot of Americans have already filed and gotten their return. So those are people that you're no longer on your list. You don't have to worry about processing any of those. So I Googled the statistics for last year, and last year 250 million people filed taxes. So even if half those people have gotten their taxes back now, you still have to deal with the other, I don't know, 125 million. Okay, times you have an office in damn near, an IRS office in damn near every state with at least 50 to 100 employees, right? Okay, so why is it taking so long to process a simple return that you already identified as the same person with the same kids and the same address and literally the same job? I don't understand what is like the issue with returning. This is the second year where I've had a problem with using my own children that I really take care of all year and my job that I slave on all year. So I don't understand where is the return. So I mean, it's just taking extremely long, and when you call, they do not give you an explanation. All they tell you is it's processing, wait to call back if you haven't received it within 9 weeks. Like literally, so literally I still have 4 weeks to wait for the unknown. It may be tomorrow, it may be Saturday, it may be on the day before the 9 weeks. I don't know because I don't work for the IRS, and the IRS doesn't know because obviously they don't work for the IRS either. I'm starting to feel like there's some type of internal scam going on at the IRS, because where are our money? I've been Googling different websites and different chat groups on people who are going through the same thing. Last year they had to identify, but everything went smooth. This year everything is haywire, and all you get when you call is you have to wait the 9 weeks. You have to wait the 9 weeks. Like literally you can't look on there, log on, see what the last date someone even looked at it was. You can't even tell me the last time one of your employees looked at my tax return. It's literally about to be the deadline to file taxes, and I still won't have a tax return. Thank God I wasn't like depending on it for anything. Like I work and I handle my business, and like I've just been carrying on and not really tripping. Like if it comes at this point, if it comes, it would just be like take the kids on vacation or something money, because all my stuff is already handled and paid for. So I'm not behind, but I have been hearing stories of people who have gotten behind. So suffice it to say, please don't do that. Don't depend on your tax return for anything. If you know bills are coming, rent is due, whatever, handle your business, because you cannot depend on a tax return when it's in dire need, like you're about to get evicted or your car is about to get repoed or whatever the situation is. You need to continue working, continue making money, continue hustling. Whatever it is you need to do, do not depend on these returns, because once they tell you that they need to ID your return, it's basically a wrap for the next 9 weeks. You can jump up and down, scream and holler, call, and do everything they want. It's still literally going to be. And the jacked up part is I initially filed January 28th. So really, I've been waiting for my return since January 28th. And here it is in April. So that's February, March, April. And you guys can't tell me anything literally when I call. But I have to call and tell you my whole life story for you to even say it's me, which is funny because I've been me for the last 36 years. As a matter of fact, I wish I could change my identity and my social, because then maybe I could have better credit. But no, it's still me, the same girl that I've always been. So I don't understand what the issue is with these people. I don't know what's going on. I'm starting to think maybe the government might be in debt and they're just holding the money to collect interest, or holding the money as collateral. There's a reason why they're holding so many millions of Americans' money in tax return money. They're using that money for something. Like, there's just no way that money's just sitting around doing nothing, because if that, and not collecting interest at the least, because if that's the case, then they would give it to us. No, they're benefiting from holding. If you say the average American gets a refund of $3,000 times 100 million tax returns that you haven't released yet. That's a lot of taxpayer money that they're playing with right now and holding on to and collecting interest on, and just basically they're on borrowed time. They're just buying time, holding our money collectively and getting interest on it, and probably making loans and whatever else the government does with our money. And all they're telling us is, you have to wait, you have to wait, you have to wait. It's crazy and it's ridiculous, and it's kind of not fair, because especially for people who owe, and then, if they file late, they're penalized up the roof. Like, it's not fair. It's not equal on both ends, but that's the government that we live in, and we have no choice but to bend over and take it. So basically, that's just a little wrap up of my nightmare of a tax return this year that I have yet still to receive. I don't know if I can add to this video after I post it, but I will definitely add in the description the date I finally got a return, if it even happens. So I'm just going to keep my fingers crossed, and I'll talk to you later, YouTube.